So there's a stark difference between elite performers and guys that just seem to kick the can down the road and just get by. And it's not that they validate themselves on their best days, it's that they can validate themselves based on how they operate on their worst days, right? And there's a standard you guys need to understand more than anything else. If you are pursuing something in life right now that is challenging, it is pushing you, it is demanding a higher version of you to come to fruition, and you're maybe trying to build your physique, launch your business, get in or out of a new relationship, maybe buy your first house or travel the world for all that matter, just something that you would look at as a big, audacious task, a big goal, right? You need to understand that it's not this or that, but there's almost like a paradoxical evergreen cabinet, we'll call it, of where each layer of success can lie. And the longer I've been in this game, right, the longer I've been in this game of coaching, personal development, business building, I've soon realized, probably over the last 2 years, it comes down to the standard you can hold with yourself. And it's how artistic you can really get with these standards, right? And you got to look at it in a layer of three, let's say, like a cake, right? You've got top line standards. I mean, your highest output, highest performance standard. This means you just get everything done every single day to the utmost potential. You're an absolute killer, an absolute demon, right? You do not negotiate with shite behavior. You're always just on the up and at 'em. You're killing it. You never miss a wake time. You never miss your macros. You never miss your outreach. You never miss your training. You never miss anything, right? You're a man that does not miss. That's top end standards. Then you've got bottom end standards, which is like your minimal viable dose, which is like you're ticking boxes. You're maybe lacking a level of consciousness, but you're getting by. You've not completely given up. You're ticking a few boxes and you're just trudging along. And then you've got this area in between, which is like your midline, which is not the best, it's not the worst, it's actually quite good. It's better than 99% of men, but you know it's not your full potential because that edge in which you have when you're at your top, it's slightly been domesticated out of you. You've kind of lost it. Something's misaligned. You're maybe lacking vision, lacking purpose, or you're feeling just a little bit spread from pillar to post. Life's caught up with you a little bit. So if we've identified the top, the middle, and bottom, what you need to understand as a high performer is that you're never going to be able to hold on to one consistent level 365. You just won't. The whole year, you will never be able to hold on to a top end standard. It's impossible, literally, because at the end of the day, we're bags of meat and bone, we're humans. But you need to realize that your personal reality is shaped by your personality. And if your personality is flawed based upon what you let yourself off with, the standards you hold day to day, how you think, how you act, how you behave in certain situations or when certain circumstances arise, that'll dictate the level of success that you have, 110%. But if you can operate within this flow zone and understand the expectations in which you put in yourself, whether it's going to be a push day, a pull day, and I'm not talking gym, I mean pushing hard in life, pulling back in life, or just maintaining what you've got. And you can flow. It's like an ebb and flow. You can ebb and flow through those maximum, medium, and minimum standards. You will know in your heart and head that you could consistently stay successful. And one of the big things is when you're trying to change, so many guys have a one-sided mindset, a failed paradigm in which they attach to their sense of self-worth. And it's like, if I'm not grinding, if I'm not hustling, if I'm not pushing as hard as I possibly can every single day, then I am a failure. Whereas the people at the bottom, right, the people that only tick the bottom standards, the minimal viable dose, think that's great already. And it's almost like ignorance is bliss. They're just getting on. And sometimes it's hard to find a balance between the both, right? And what I'm trying to get at here is when you have a long time horizon based upon who you are, what you want, where you're going, it is undoubtedly going to happen that you feel overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, fatigued, tired, like you want to give up, like you don't know your next move. And you're going to start beating yourself up and be riddled with guilt and shame. And you're going to say these things. Like, I'll have to move this around, or I missed this because of this, or this popped up so I couldn't do this, and it's overwhelm, or you're calling it overwhelm, but it's actually just a lack of alignment. And you think that your old problems are the same as your new problems, and you're going to find yourself always looking back at periods of your life when you were at a top performance level and comparing that to where you're at now. But you need to realize what season you're in as well, because as I say, I've been doing this for 10 years, coaching, business, personal development, mentorship, whatever it may be. And the further I've gone on, the more successful I've became. Some people, yes, go faster. Some people go slower. It's all about finding your own pace. But over the last probably 2 years, I've found an element of flow where I know how to shift gears from the top end, the middle end, and the bottom end, depending on what season I'm in. And it's always about understanding that and knowing that it's not this or that, but it can be a wide variety of all done at the highest level with a complete conscious element of control, knowing where you're at and where you need to be based upon the needs analysis of that result. So again, let's tie it back to physique. If you've just been through like an arduous, lengthy fat loss phase, and you're shredded, you're 8% body fat, you're jacked, you look insane, you've solved yourself a massive problem because you're now in elite condition. But maintaining elite condition is a very hard job. That's where the real party starts. And not many men can do it. Many men can diet and get in shape, but holding on to it is a completely different beast. So what a lot of people, or a lot of guys do in particular, they'll achieve a goal only to achieve a goal just to fall off. And they expect that the way or the vehicle or how they got to this condition, this body shape, this lean aesthetic look, is going to be the same vehicle that gets them to the next level. And they run out of timeline, they run out of next mission. Whereas getting lean is a stepping stone, it's part of a longer play, guys, which you need to understand. And this is what we look at with every single one of our clients. It's about longevity. If you've finished your initial fat loss phase, there is a similar phase off the back of that, which is a recovery phase, into a reverse dieting phase, into a muscle building and performance phase, into a health orientated phase, so they can stabilize, build, thrive, master themselves, and really run through a longer process that changes their life rather than just changes their body for a flash in the pan result. But so many guys operate such a high standard to achieve a thing, and they tend to do quite well because it's more about motivation, willpower, and discipline rather than flow, consistency, and alignment. And they rely on these short-lived, lackadaisical, or not even lackadaisical, they rely on these short-lived emotions which only serve them for a finite period of time. But when you can play the infinite game, you can realize that the stepping stones in which you have to take allow you to shift gears depending how fast you want to pursue something, how slow you want to pursue something, and you can gravitate and navigate within that push and pull zone and find yourself having a lot more fun along the way, because longevity is my highest value when it comes to health. It's about feeling as good as I can for as long as I can, not compromising on my lifestyle, not destroying my competence in business through weird diets or overtraining. It's about putting myself in a place and space where I know how to turn the heat up, but I know how to take the pot off the boil as well, and flow with that ebb of life, the ebb and flow in which I spoke about, and never drop the ball so hard that I lose control, but never overextend the standard to the point, right? Never overextend the standard to the point that I burn out. Because see, if you tried to diet for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you're always going to be fighting a force. Whereas if you can commit to something for 12 weeks, 16 weeks, execute it on the highest standard and know straight away how to pivot into the next phase and pull things back, reduce training volume, reduce cardio, get your health good, get your metabolic health in a great spot, get your testosterone checked, everything's looked after, then you can drop the volume, the stress, and the intensity, get yourself baselined again, then climb the next mountain. And that's the thing, you got to know, if you were to stare at the Mona Lisa for 12 hours, it would get pretty boring. The same goes with your goals. If you're pursuing something, yes, chase it, grind, hustle, get to where you need to get to. But once you've got there, be willing to pivot, because the grass, yes, is greener on the other side, but it's a small garden. To the right-hand side of you, there's a mansion with an even bigger garden and a swimming pool. So it's like, stop getting so busy looking at what you've currently got. Always look to pivot where your head's going and be like, oh, wow, that's something else over there. I want to pursue that. Who do I need to become now? Because when you understand that and you know who you need to become on the long term, not just for a short term, you will always find yourself moving at a faster pace than achieving something, failing, achieving something, failing, and it's start, stop. You want to be in flow and alignment and have a real deep level of consciousness throughout a 10-year period, a 12-year period, a 20-year period. That's where the real progress is found, not just in and out, shake it all about, do the hokey cokey and you'll turn around. But you can find yourself really building momentum at your own pace for a longer period of time. And that's why the guys that I work with stay with me, pay me, and get coached off me for, a year and a half, 2 years, and then launch their own business and we consult on that. And then once they've launched their own business, they move location or they leave a relationship. We start doing relationship counseling. Everything just stems off all the things I've now done. But way back when I started my own coaching business, personal branding stuff, I could only coach on physique, but now it's gotten so much more. And I can now shift gears, what energy, what hat I need to wear on a day-to-day basis to find out, is it a max out day? Is it a medium day? Is it a minimal viable standard day? Do I need to recover? Have I over-delivered here? Do I need to pull back here? Do I need to delegate here? So it's more about understanding life. It's more about understanding who you now need to be for yourself, for your health, for your business, for your relationship on a long term. And then having that kind of marathon mindset in place that it's going to be a long time, but learning how to sprint, pull back, recover, walk, jog, sprint again, without actually getting 10 kilometers into the marathon, running at a 3:15 pace and absolutely cooking yourself and then having to, get a DQ because you hurt yourself. That's what a lot of guys do, because they don't know how to ebb and flow. They don't know how to ebb and flow, and it's extremely fatiguing if you don't understand that. It's very, very challenging, because there's been periods in my life where I would do a photo shoot, for example, go hard, 20k steps a day, 1,800 calories, Stairmaster for 600 calories, 5 or 6 weight training sessions, get so peeled, get so ripped, but everything around me would be destroyed. Relationships, testosterone, business. But I'd have the physique, and then I'd finish the photo shoot because I'd restricted so much from my life for so long. I'd unravel like a ball of wool, and I'd give up and I'd get fat again. And then I'd have to pay the price of spending the next 6 months to a year refixing my relationship with everything else. Whereas now, over the last 2 years, like I've been touching on, it's like I've been consistently in good shape. My business has consistently grown. I've consistently got good energy. I've consistently got good sleep. I've consistently not got any vices. I've consistently got a nutrition system that works for me. And it's like when you have consistency and your identity is forged based upon the consistency and the standard in which you will maintain, you will hold every single day non-negotiable, that's when you're going to win. That's when you can build incredible things. Not by being flaky, not by being a dopamine junkie, not by being a motivation guy that just tries to run at something just to get a quick hit. But I mean, someone who plays the game on the infinite game for the longest time. Because if a fat guy, right, is 300 pounds and needs to lose 160 pounds to be healthy, if he thinks he's going to do that in 12 weeks, he's going to fuck himself up, Whereas if he's like, I'm going to give myself a year and a half to complete this fat loss phase, then I'm going to go into a strength building phase, then I'm going to start helping other people do this because that's my purpose, then I'm going to launch a business off the back of it, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. See where I'm going with this? It's like, just expand everything. Expand your thinking, expand the way you speak to yourself, expand the way in which you need to operate within a certain timeline. And then when you can flow with that over a period of weeks, months, and years, you will notice that the shift in which you go through will be more based upon the mindset you operate with rather than the aesthetic or the external result in which you find yourself achieving. It's as simple as that. Quite crazy. But understand your maximum, your medium, and your minimum. And this is what we help our guys do one-to-one every single day, every single week. I'm just off the back of some coaching calls today. And I thought I'd share this because it was something we dove into with one of our CEO clients. And so, you know what, make a simple video on this to hopefully give you guys some sauce. But understand the game, right? Understand the game on the highest level, the most complex level, then break it down to its maximum simplicity. And you're going to find yourself making huge amounts of growth. And if you don't want any help with this, guys, there's going to be a link below in the description. More than happy to chat with you on this phone right here. So on WhatsApp or something, there's going to be a link that will give you access to that. And we'll see what your next best move has to be, whether it be building an elite physique and mindset, developing your personal brand, working with me one-to-one inside CEO, or just becoming the guy you've always wanted to be. It could be one of those threes, or it could be all three. It's an ascension, it's a pathway. So guys, I will see you in the next one. Have an amazing day, but you need to understand this. You need to be conscious, you need to have alignment, and you need to stop selling yourself short when it comes to small mind thinking. That's the biggest thing holding you back. And drop a comment below if you agree with this. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.